How are you doing, Cam?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Now, people in England and the UK probably know you from the Netflix film Counterpunch, where they followed you for a year. What was it like appearing in that?
Actually, a little more intrusive than I thought it would be. For them to get the behind the scenes footage, they have to be there at all times. And what people don't realize is they actually followed me around for probably closer to 3 years. And when you have a microphone on you at all times, you go to the bathroom, there's a microphone on you. If a friend wants to talk, I'm like, there's a mic. I'm just texting friends next to I have to keep the mic on at all times. But it was a cool experience. I don't care to do it again. But the finished product came out beautiful. I think it gave a good look into the inside of what boxing is really about.
Now, when you did that, like I said, you're one of the most experienced amateur boxers. I think you had about 350 bouts at that time. What are you up to now?
Close to 400 about right now. I haven't been as active in the last couple of years. Transitioned into public speaking and events emceeing and things of that sort.
Now, you've represented Team USA on many occasions for many years. What does it mean to you to wear that Team USA vest?
Boxing is just a hobby. It's something that I enjoy doing, and it keeps me in shape. And so I think it's cool to wear the flag and represent America. But the real cool part was being able to travel the world, essentially for free. It's a good price. And I've been to England quite a few times.
You must have had quite a lot of notable teammates during those years.
One of my favorite roommates was Errol Spence, just because he enjoyed having the room cold at night. I like to sleep with the AC on blast. But it's pretty cool seeing all of the former teammates, because I've been one of the staples on the team for probably the last 10 years. From 2008 to 2018, I was pretty much captain of the team for most part. And just seeing guys like Jamel Herring rise up through the ranks and become an Olympian, then rise up through the pro ranks, become a world champion. His story is amazing. Guys like Marcus Brown, Rashid Warren, these are Michaela Mayer, Marlena Esparza. All these are good friends of mine, and it's cool to see them on television doing their thing.
When you boxed for Team USA, what was your proudest moment?
I think it was pretty cool when I got to win a national championship in Kansas City. So I think it was 2016 or 2017. I won the United States National Championships in my hometown of Kansas City, and it was the first time that my friends and everything got to come out to see me fight at a national championship.
Now, in England, if we have to travel an hour for a bout, that's quite a long journey. I mean, you must have been all over America.
Oh, yeah. For the most part, I was known as the guy who the reason why I have so many fights is my belief was you take every fight you can, whether you're overmatched or not, gain all the experience, because your record doesn't matter. It's your pride that you care about. So what I would do is I would hop in my Prius and drive around the country. If I was in Kansas City and I heard there's a fight 12 hours away, I hop in my car, I drive 12 hours. I ask a random coach who's there to work my corner. I wrap my hands, I warm myself up, I kick ass, and I head back in my car home. So
that's a strong mentality, that, isn't it, Cam? Because most boxers, they're not as confident as you might think and want home advantage and that. So that shows a lot of self-belief in yourself.
They say boxing is 85% mental, which is probably why for a while in my career I was severely overweight and I continued to win, because I do believe a lot of it's mental.
Did it come natural for you? Because you said you started boxing to lose weight in the beginning, but did the sport come natural?
Yeah, because I looked at it as, I didn't look at it as fighting. I did it as even fencing. I look at it as more closer to fencing than I do fighting, where it's an art and a skill to be quick, and you don't really have to be strong. I don't knock a lot of people out. I don't have a lot of knockouts. I do have a lot of stoppages, because I will punch someone until they can't defend themselves anymore, but I'm not knocking anyone out, because a lot of times I'm fighting with a great disparity in weight.
You remind me of the heavyweight Joe Calzaghe, because you throw so many punches.
Yeah, I like Calzaghe, yeah.
Now, parts of these videos, I like to ask people when they've had adversity and, you know, how they've overcome that. In the 2012 London Olympics, unfortunately, you missed that one, but you just missed out on 2016. How hard was it to deal with those setbacks? Because you were virtually there.
Imagine finding the love of your life, courting her for 4 years, and then coming home one day and seeing her in bed with someone else. That's what it feels like. It was heartbreaking. I can make it seem pretty or whatever, but it sucks to pour that much heart, love, hope, and of your life into a goal and then for it not to work out. The first time it didn't work out and I got kicked off the Olympic team, that was heartbreaking because, I mean, I'm terrified of needles. I won't do steroids. Morally, I won't do it, but physically, I couldn't do it. And I got suspended for missing my whereabouts. And the problem was I left the country and didn't tell him I was leaving. And there was no, and it was such a big mess up on my part. And I've come to take accountability for it. It was my job to inform them when I'm leaving the country. And I left the country to fight in the tournament where you get drug tested to
That's
fight.
That's the crazy thing, isn't it? You was actually being tested, and so it must have been heartbreaking that. Well, it showed strength and character that you came back and pushed on again. A lot of people wouldn't.
Yeah. More of it was self-pride and actually, I'm not going to be one of the people who say like everything happens for a reason. I think things happen and then other things happen. And you as a person who's trying to be optimistic will try to link those things together in the most positive light possible. I think that happened and it put me in a position to make the next thing happen. And what I decided to do was to symbolically kill myself and be reborn as KMF Awesome, change my name, change my lifestyle, my attitude, and my approach of life. And it worked out pretty well.
I like that you had a party, didn't you, to sort of be reborn as KMF Awesome.
Yeah, I called it my afterbirth party, my after birthday party. Yeah.
And going back to the US team, Cam, why do you think there's been that drought? I know funding's a big issue, isn't it? In Britain, you can get quite a sponsorship.
I'm jealous of the Brits on that. You guys have a well-funded program. It's structured and there's longevity and I think in the US we have so many rules and you have to have you can't have a standard national team. You have to start a national team every year. So there's never you don't get to work with the same coach unless like me you win year after year after year. But again, you the way it is here in the States is you train at home, you start your career at home with your coach every minute of your day. You get to states, you get to regionals, you get to nationals, you win nationals, you get to be on the USA national team because you and your coach work so well together. And then they tell you, leave your coach at home. We coach you now. Now, if you see the way I fight very unorthodox. And my coach, John Brown, he understood that I'm not coachable and I'm very coachable, which means I know what I'm supposed to do. He's never asked me if I worked out. He never asked me if I'm in shape. He never asked me if I ran. Why? Because it's none of his business. It's my job as an athlete to be in shape and do all that. And I know what's expected of me. And I think a lot of things coaches do, it's to fill time. Example, the speed bag. I'll die on this hill. I think the speed bag is a waste of time. Yes, there have been world champions who have hit the speed bag, but that's not why they're world champions. And if you think it's for hand-eye coordination, close your eyes and see if you can hit the bag. And if you can hit the bag with your eyes closed, that's not hand-eye coordination. If you want hand-eye coordination, you take 3 balls and you juggle it. That's easy for you to take 3 balls and juggle it off of a wall. That's hand-eye coordination. So these are all the philosophies I had, and John Brown realized that he's not going to change me from those philosophies. So he just let me be and do whatever it is I want. And what I want is to be better. And I've been able to train myself to become the fighter that I am in the way that I do with a lot of sparring. And then I get to national camp and the coaches are like, we spar once a week and you have to do this, you have to do that. And I don't want to do any of that. I didn't join a team sport. I'm not a team player. I'll be captain of the USA team and I'll be a leader, but I don't care about being a team player. And that's why I didn't play football.
Being so experienced, Cam, one of the things I've got to pick your brains about is how you should train. And for amateur boxers watching this, I watched you, and you made a comment about being faster, stronger, better in the gym, and to any other boxer in there, and set your goal to be that. Is that your mentality?
Oh yeah, yeah. I believe you should be obsessive about getting better. And like, if you look at me, there's nothing really special about me as a fighter. I'm not knocking people out. I'm good at defense, but the only thing that's different between me and a lot of other boxers is I'm just in better shape than they are, and I'm mentally stronger. And I believe if you're in killer shape, there's tons of guys who look big and strong and they got muscles. They're nothing but like a nice Mustang with no engine in it. Because if you have all that muscle and you don't have the gas to go, you're pretty useless. So I think people should focus, young boxers should focus more on getting in shape, more on fundamental. And I know I shouldn't be speaking on fundamentals because I have none, but working on fundamentals and being in better shape than their opponent. That's going to get you further than being more skilled.
You put your style down quite a bit, don't you? And considering how many wins you've had out of 400, I think you're a bit hard on yourself.
You should be. I think that's also a part of it. You should train like you're the worst and get in the ring like you're the best. So I don't have. I think a lot of people will say, especially if you speak to USA fighters, show up to Nash like it's a as it's a formal thing to. I know I'm going to win. The opponent knows I'm going to win. The ref knows I'm going to win. The judges know I'm going to win. It's just a formality now that I'm here through the process of winning. I'm very confident because I work very hard, but I don't train as if I'm not confident. So it has to be a balance.
And how have you maintained that, Cam? Because boxing's very repetitive training. How have you maintained that through all these years to push yourself like that?
I talk a lot of crap. I can't change my last name to Awesome and lose all the time. I put a lot of pressure on myself to become better.
One thing I read about you was that you became a vegan in, was it 2013? And it was an interesting story with Timothy Bradley.
Yeah, it was 2012. I was given the bet, the Bradley Pacquiao fight, the first one, and I heard of Bradley at the time. I knew Pacquiao was going to win, so I didn't even watch the fight. And lost the bet. Got a text that night saying I lost the bet. That morning, the next morning, I had to do the 28-day vegan challenge, which meant no meat, no dairy, no eggs, no processed foods, no happiness, no convenience, and no cheese.
And as that, Adam, you carried it on to this day, haven't you? Has it had a massive effect on your health?
Oh yeah, the first 28 days, I lost 32 pounds. I felt healthier, I felt happier. I had a new bounce to me, and I had no interest in being vegan because I only heard weird things about vegan people and they're weirdos. But I said I would do it for a little bit longer, and it's been 8 years. I have no desire to go back and ever eat meat again, and it's given me a significant advantage over my opponents. Brian Jennings is vegan as well.
Right. Now, going to your opponents, which ones stand out for you that have been the toughest?
Roberto Camarelli. He was the Italian. He was 2004 Italian gold medalist, 2008 bronze medalist, 2012 silver medalist. Hell of a fighter. I don't know how much fights he has, but I got in the ring with him, and he's a pretty big guy. He had me by about 50 pounds. And I fought him in, I think it was Vegas here in the States, and just a duel. And I got to the middle of the ring. I'm here, he's here, and I'm looking at his hands, and I got hit twice. And I didn't see his hands move. And I'm like, oh, damn, this is going to be a long one. I've grown a lot since we fought then, but he outclassed me. I only lost by 3 or 4 points, but I struggled to keep up with him. Another person that I got in there with, I fought Brian Jennings in the amateurs, and I won that. And he brought me out to spar for his fight with Ortiz. And when I fought him, he had just started boxing at 100 to fight, so of course I won. But he developed so much as a fighter and as a professional. When he brought me out to camp, he's hard to keep up with. He's one of the hardest working fighters I've ever seen. Like that dude, of course he has natural ability, but he doesn't rely on any of that. That dude works his butt off. So he's a friend of mine, and I'm a fan of his.
I've got to turn to you and the professional question, which you must get asked all the time. Why did you never turn pro?
And I like to fight, and I said I fight for fun. And when I first started, I said I have no interest in turning pro. I just want to fight and travel. Took me seriously, and they're like, "Oh, wait, you just wait." And won tons of national championships. It's not as fun if it's professional. There's a lot of pressure. There's like money involved. There's contracts. I just want to fight as much as possible. And also, I only want to do it if it's fun. And if all that stuff is involved, it's no longer fun to me. And the only reason why I win is because I have fun. So unless someone could approach me with a fun deal, which is non-pressure, that I can do what I want and I can have a professional career the same way I had my amateur career, doing whatever the hell I wanted, I'd turn pro. But it's not something I feel like I have to do, or it's a calling to do. I don't need money. Everybody needs money, but I'm a speaker. I have a career in speaking, so I can just continue to box for fun.
Well, listening to you there, it seems like you'll be able to. A lot of boxers struggle, don't they, when boxing's not there at the end of the career? Yeah. You look like you're more of a person than that. You've got more, more interests.
Yeah, in 2012, after I got kicked off the Olympic team, I couldn't get a job because I didn't have an education. I didn't have any skills. I didn't have any certifications. I had nothing to do for work besides boxing fitness training, which is not that lucrative. I realized at that moment that boxers athletes in general don't realize how quickly their relevancy dissipates after they retire. If the whole world wants to know everything about you and you have all these opportunities and then you retire, all those evaporate. So what I want to do is I want to work myself in a position where I have skills to be able to have a career other than boxing. Because we see it too often where guys want to retire, but they need an income. They're a little too old. They're over the hill. So they start taking fights and become a journeyman, and they're just getting beat up for a living. I want to get beat up for a living. Even though the people are getting beat up for free in the world, like I much rather speak or do something else.
You look very secure in yourself, like you know who Cam F. Awesome is. So it looks like, a lot of boxers do struggle and don't lose their identity when they're not a boxer. You don't come across like that.
I was never a boxer. Like no one ever would consider me like, oh, that Cam got, like, granted, I did box. I didn't carry myself like a boxer. I didn't fight like a boxer. I didn't act like a boxer. I'm just a dude who happens to box.
So what is it that you love so much that's kept you going about boxing? When you've got that sort of attitude towards it, why have you kept going this long?
Because if you physically dominate another human being, you feel like you're better than that human being. And that's what I love about boxing. It means that I'm mentally stronger, I'm physically stronger, and I'm emotionally stronger. And there's a satisfaction you get with that. And I box for that satisfaction.
Could you ever imagine going into like Team USA? You've been part of it so much as, on the coaching side, or could you see yourself coaching when you finish, when you hang up the gloves?
Nothing against the box. I love the boxers. All the boxers wish them the well, but I don't like the way they do their camps. And actually, no, it's not even them. It's me. I don't personally like the way they do things. It's not that they're doing anything wrong. It's just I don't like teams. And also, I don't think I have the patience at this age of 31 to coach a fighter. I think it takes an extreme amount of patience and communication skills to become a good coach. And although I think I might have the communication skills, I don't have the patience at this point in my life. And I feel like maybe in the future, if I'm not financially set to where I can get time to a boxer, yeah, that'd be cool. But for now, nah, bro.
Now, it's interesting listening to you, Cam, because I'm a coach, just at an amateur level, but you're I've come across all different characters, obviously, in the boxing club, and you come across as very strong-minded and not always the easiest to coach. Now, John Brown sounds the perfect What is it about him that has kept that relationship going so long?
The one thing is he doesn't have an ego. So there's a lot of coaches who have egos, and they're coaches who were former boxers, and you can tell the coaches who still have that ego is when they're working a corner, and instead of telling a fighter what to do, they feel the need to shadow box it for the fighter to show him, and that's just the coach trying to show that they still got it. John Brown doesn't care to have the glory that he took to win. There's a lot of coaches who just yell out things just to hear their own voice. John Brown's not one of those people, and he doesn't need the credit for what I do, so he lets me do what I do best, and that's just be myself.
That sounds a perfect fit. It's nice that you've had that relationship, because I always see boxing clubs as more than just the sport of two lads getting in a ring or two girls. It's about the relationships you build in clubs, isn't it?
Yeah. And here in the States, there's a lot of boxing's a poor man's sport. It's always in the tougher neighborhoods, in the single parent homes, and coaches. And a lot of people don't realize this. Coaches are a lot of fathers. There's a lot of boxers out there who don't have fathers, and you're 12, 14 going in the JOs, and you're traveling. A lot of times you're with your coach. Your coach is teaching you life lessons. They're teaching you about money. They're teaching you management. They're teaching you respect, honor, discipline. And coaches are the reason for not just boxing, but all the sports, football, basketball. The coaches are a lot of reason for great young men that become great men.
And what's next for Cam F. Awesome? What can we expect in these next few years?
I'm actually purchasing my first house, and I'm going to spend a lot of time working on my lawn. I'm going to make a garden. I'm going to do some painting projects in the garage, and yeah, I'm going to read a lot.
You sound like me, but I'm 50. You're not 50.
Oh, I can't wait to be old, bro. Being old just seems like I don't care about the way I dress. I don't care about attention. I used to be very into attention. I don't really care about all that anymore. I just like being with the woman I love. I love being a puppy, and I like just doing little DIY projects.
Yeah, you need a dog as well.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much, Cam. I really appreciated you giving me your time, and I wish you all the best of luck. And I advise anyone to watch the Netflix Counterpunch, even though you didn't enjoy the experience that much. It was an interesting film to watch.
Yeah. If I could do it all over again, I would definitely do that. Do the documentary again. It was a cool experience. And also, my mom is from Birmingham, England, so she's still loyal to the Queen.